Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Shri Surabhyaya Namaha.
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 Mukham karoti vasanam pangam gayate girim yad kripat maham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam yad kripat maham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam. Today, by the way, is Rath Yatra in Jagannath Puri. Jai Jagannath.
Jai.
It's a special day. I probably should have shown this earlier. This maybe one for the Prabhus and Matajis. Just, yeah. Just, you can just pass it around. I mean, this mantra that we are chanting, when we see it in writing, it maybe helps us. Om Shri Surabhyaya Namaha. It's part of the campaign, it's part of the theme that we are discussing today, actually. We are so far removed in many aspects, of course, in modern day society, but even us as devotees, from the actual Vedic culture in terms of our lifestyle, and especially in terms of our connection and involvement with Mother Surabhi. We use the word Surabhi because actually Surabhi is the original cow. From her, all cows actually originate. And therefore this mantra, Om Shri Surabhyaya Namaha, all glories and all obeisances to Mother Cow. Just a little bit of information. This afternoon we're having, at 4 o'clock, as announced, a presentation. That presentation basically will be the video that I will be showing here. It means that those who are present, you can still come, but it will be the same video and some of the same explanation I will be giving. Actually, I'm kind of traveling to different places because this year our ministry in India, ISKCON Daiva Varnasrama ministry, has embarked upon a 12-year campaign. So we'll first show this PowerPoint that explains about the campaign, some very strong and clear quotes from Srila Prabhupada regarding Mother Cow, actually, and how important and essential she is in general society and also within our ISKCON society, Krishna consciousness movement. We are actually doing this in connection with the Golden Jubilee celebrations that are beginning actually this year. September 13th, I believe, was the date that Srila Prabhupada embarked on his voyage, 50 years ago.
August.
August? Okay, somebody said September 13th is an important date. Maybe you're right. Yeah. In any event, devotees are going to reenact in Calcutta, isn't it? Within coming up, and it means that the Golden Jubilee period of ISKCON is beginning this year, and this campaign that we are undertaking is spearheaded by the two ministries, a ministry for cow protection as well, because it is centered on cow. And the purpose is to actually make this, introduce that in all of our different centers and projects around the world, both city centers, urban centers, as well as our farm communities, especially farm communities, because that is where in most communities we have some cows. And although we may have cows, we still have many things to learn in terms of how to connect with the cows and how to build up and develop that. It's actually a cow culture. You know, our Vedic culture is very much a cow culture, cow-centered culture, a cow dung economy culture as well, and we are in this way trying to create awareness, global awareness. It's not only about cows, but because it is central, as we will see from some of the selected quotes that we will share with you in a few seconds, that it expands and includes actually the entire Vedic culture. So in other words, the campaign is not simply some sentimental propaganda for protecting cows, but it's actually a propaganda for introducing the different dimensions that are there, the heart of which is actually Mother Surabhi, Mother Cow. So after showing this PowerPoint, as you will see during the PowerPoint also, we are stating what are some of the short-term and long-term goals and objectives of the campaign. And we are looking for individuals. We are in the process of selecting representatives who can be part of the campaign from each continent, from each country, from each project as well, etc. So just, you can keep that in mind. We have some literature that, I gave copies to Mukunda Prabhu a few days back. I wanted to actually get more copies, somehow could not do that, but we'll make those available for those who may be interested. And if anyone would like to be at whatever level or in whatever capacity be involved, it will go till, I believe, the second, or you can probably start showing now actually. Some of those details are actually part of the PowerPoint, so we can go directly. Yeah. So the campaign is called Om Sri Surabhi Campaign from 2015, this year, up until 2027. The actual date, is November, I believe the 5th, 2027, which will mark actually Srila Prabhupada's last day, 50 years after, right? So, as I mentioned, it's an initiative from these two ministries. The second one is press from the Ministry for Cow Protection in India. So in many ways, because we also mentioned this, ISKCON does not yet have a global ministry for Varnasrama, so we're kind of like going a little ahead you know, taking a step ahead of ourselves, as they say, to promote the ideology. But it is also connected with this other endeavor, global committee I mentioned about sustainable Vaishnava communities. Next. So this is the content of the presentation here. Some of the very important quotes by Srila Prabhupada, and a brief summary of the mandate that our ministry has in India. What are some of the short-term objectives, then long-term objectives, some fundraising naturally will be involved, fund allocation, and who are some of the already selected coordinators for different continents. Yeah. Is there a name? I think not. Next. There is. Yeah, websites. We've already mentioned about that. We can go right away to this Krishna consciousness movement is for the protection of Brahminical culture and cows. Then automatically the peace of the world will come. If these two things are done, this is Vedic literature. They pick up the essence of the things and all other things follow. 2 points actually. The first one we all know about, actually there are 3 things here. The importance of cows and brahmanas, number 1. Number 2, that the state of the world is very much connected with our success in giving proper care and protection to the cows and the brahmanas. And then the last point that Prabhupada mentioned is that from one thing, so many important aspects are within that one thing. So the more we understand, in other words, about cows and how they are so relevant in so many ways when we begin to live a more natural lifestyle, then we will, you know, ask ourselves, my God, why did I not think about this, or why did I not act on this way before? You know? Next quote from Srila Prabhupada. The bull is the emblem of the moral principle, and the cow is the representative of the earth. Yeah. Next. The killing of cows by human society is one of the grossest suicidal policies, and those who are anxious to cultivate the human spirit must turn their attention first toward the question of cow protection. Very powerful message given by Srila Prabhupada, that in a letter actually written in 1968, at that time to, I believe, Kirtanananda. The letter was stating that our cities in Europe and our cities in the West will one day soon be destroyed because of the killing of cows. Ordinary people don't know, and we tend to forget, also as devotees, that this is the most sinful activity for which we can expect heavy reaction. Unimaginable. I mean, Shastra is telling, right? The killing of one cow, for as many hairs on the body of that cow, whoever is responsible for killing has to take birth. And every day there are hundreds, I mean over 200,000 cows, I believe, in India alone, every day. So, this is very, Prabhupada mentions, this word must turn their attention first. Prabhupada is telling that to us, right? And we'll come up in a few seconds with a very major quotation from another source, underlining the importance of giving priority, first attention to this problem that we have in society today. Next. Therefore, the world is suffering so much sinful activities. The greatest sinful activity is cow slaughter, and they are committing. They do not know what will be the result. Such brain, stool-bound brain. Thorough overhaul is required. That we are doing, otherwise the stool cannot be cleansed. So in another place, Prabhupada mentions about one of the purposes of our ISKCON society is to bring a complete overhaul. A complete overhaul within society. Next. I think the last, yeah, that's the verse, actually. There should be a thorough overhauling of society and revert. Prabhupada is very clear and direct. Revert to the Vedic principles, the Vedic way of life. Yeah. And from another source, the last quote here, next. Tratavya pratamam Raghava trata trayanti ta dijan go brahmana paritrane paritratam jagat bhagat. The first translation, first section rather. First of all, cows should be protected. Cows thus protected will in turn protect the brahmanas. And the last section. Thus, when protection of cows and brahmanas is achieved, then the whole world is protected. You can give the quotation from the Harivamsa Parva, 55:31. There are many purports given by Srila Prabhupada where he explains, isn't it, the intimate connection, link between cows that sustain the Brahminical culture, and in turn Brahminical culture allows us to become self-realized, isn't it? And therefore, that's why cows are so dear to Krishna. They are more dear to Krishna than the Brahmanas, because the Brahmanas cannot do anything without the cows. Now, when we live the way we are in modern day society, where we don't utilize the cows, we think we can do without the cows, but actually we are making a royal mess of the whole, planet, because we're living basically following principles of dharma. So when means it's a deviation, means that modern day, urbanization, which is taking us away basically, literally speaking, from our roots at all levels, it's a deviation. And we need to, as devotees, we need to understand this very clearly, and how it's actually affecting our individual life, the lives of our family, and general society as well. And therefore, present day direction from the different leaders all over the world, it is adharmic and highly dangerous. That's why you'll see in the video actually some Srila Prabhupada will be speaking to us on this very same subject matter. And Srila Prabhupada, naturally, very forceful in expressing how sinful and how very horrifying the present situation is, and how we as a society, that is part of our mandate, so to speak, to bring about correction. Not only, in other words, should we be instructing people to chant the holy name, that's the beginning actually, because without purified intelligence, without purified consciousness, people will not understand these things, isn't it? Prabhupada did mention, right, those who are meat eaters, they're too covered. They cannot understand, the more subtle, the fine values that are hidden, that are concealed within our Vedic culture, within our Vedic lifestyle. It's like, like washing our hands after eating or before eating. Basic things, basics are just not even there in modern day society. Next, yes. This is the mandate that we have actually, just briefly. This is given maybe when we established the ministry, when the leaders in India established the ministry, to encourage the establishment in India, because it's a ministry for India, of models of Krishna conscious rural communities, means villages. A, to demonstrate in a practical way how the principles of varnas, aptitude-based occupations, and ashramas, phased lifelong spiritual emancipation, are universal and standard principles meant to be implemented. B, to demonstrate the principles of self-sufficiency, sustainability, and localized economy based on proper utilization of land and cow protection. So this is touching on artha and kama, right? The four basic needs: dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Next, I believe 2, to encourage wherever possible in India, Varnasrama-based rural development centered on the land, cows, and Krishna. That's our formula: cows, land, and Krishna. And 3, in order to accomplish the above, to establish training programs, publish resource materials, organize conferences and seminars, establish libraries and resource centers, etc. What are some of the short-term objectives? Yeah, you can go down. Personal oath, family practices. In other words, there's something for everyone, for individuals, for family, for temples, for something about ahimsa milk is there also. The importance of cooking in ghee. This is especially important for Matajis, important for our temples, and also important, actually important for everybody. That we understand why it is so important to actually cook in ghee. Number 6. We have programs, detailed programs about adopting a cow, about adopting a village also. Next. No. There might be, okay. So, personal oaths. We've been going around and because it takes a little bit of time to do that, but the Om Sri Surabhi campaign gives an opportunity for individuals to take a lifelong pledge to always protect our mother cow. We actually have an actual pledge that should be printed very soon to allow for that. A standard pledge can be taken any time, especially if any official local launching ceremony of the campaign. We are encouraging, in other words, this first year of the campaign is like working on the foundation, on the basics, which gradually we are wanting to introduce. Yeah, we can go to the next. Family practices. Here's something that immediately you as individuals and as a family can start doing. We have this Surabhi mantra, which is basically this mantra we are reciting to glorify Mother Cow, to have cow photos on the altar and walls. Already some devotees have this. To use cow products such as natural soaps and incense. We were demonstrating that, showing that the other day, yesterday. To daily recite some prayers glorifying Mother Surabhi. Go Seva, to visit or to do service in a nearby Goshala. This for, yeah, especially for people in the cities. And to perform Go Puja, to daily offer incense and flowers to Mother Surabhi. In our village in Indonesia, for example, I believe Ekadasi and Gaur Purnima, they have, because they have cows there, they do a Go Puja. Here we have cows also. And, nice practice, just like for the opening of the Scandinavian Bhakti Sangam, we had a cow, yes. Isn't it? And it makes, the presence of cow just makes everything auspicious. As a matter of fact, Brahmanas, priests, will often recommend to donate a cow to offset anything inauspicious. Just before I came here, I was coming from Montreal, and one of my disciples, Indian family, their daughter was getting married, and because something was not quite correct in the horoscope, the Purohit was telling, you should give a cow, the donation to counteract that inauspicious. So then she was asking me, where can I donate a cow? So then I was calling India, because it had to be a white cow, and Deshi cow, pure breed cow like that. So cows are extremely, so many wonderful stories are there. I don't know if some of you saw, there's a small book called Sacred Cow from Vrindavan. It's a wonderful book that has all kinds of, it's taken from different shastras actually. And not a big book, but it's full of wonderful prayers and very instructive as well. So these are some, practical things that can be done and that should be done to increase our understanding and awareness of the importance of Mother Cow, and that will automatically purify our home, our consciousness, etc. Next. For our city temples, we're recommending that the whole seminars promoting health, yoga, and diet, to introduce community gardens close to our temples, to lease or purchase land for the purpose of maintaining cows and eventually developing a rural community, to encourage devotees and congregation members to use Panchagavya natural products such as soaps, incense, etc. Same kind of idea. And to organize yearly festivals, sharing developments on sustainability among temples, something that actually here in Europe has been ahead of the game, so to speak, by organizing for the last so many years under the guidance of Swami Prabhu, farm conferences. So as a result of that, some of our devotees in different parts of the world now in India are organizing their first national farm conference coming up, I believe next month, at the Nilachal Dham farm project, which is under Juhu, close to maybe 60 kilometers from Mumbai. This will be their first national farm conference. And actually in every continent we should be having, so that in this way some of our devotees from the cities can also get some exposure. Next, last, to develop curriculum design, for homeschooling, traditional gurukulas, and Varnasrama colleges. We're working on that. We made a short presentation the other day regarding Varnasrama curriculum. Next, that's also something that you can begin even now actually, whether you are in the city or in the country. Varnasrama research teams, it means people coming together, devotees who are specifically interested in learning more about what are the implications, and there's a lot of research actually that is needed at so many different levels, and this facilitates this kind of research work. Next. Actually, devotees, regarding ahimsa milk, sometimes it's a little controversial to discuss on the point, but it's actually most important. Devotees should take milk only from protected cows. That should be our goal, our objective. Protected cows means those cows that we know for certain will not be sent to the slaughterhouse. And we should add, who are taken care of by devotees. Therefore, the importance of temples to have a farm project, as Prabhupada told us so many years ago, and for devotees to be connected with cows. Devotees should also take A2 category milk and not A1 category milk that is harmful to one's health. I won't get into, Okay, well, I will explain and take only 2 minutes, and I won't go beyond that. But there is